Okay, so during the press conference, Christie indicated he would head to Fort Lee to apologize to the mayor. Here's the additional problem, if there wasn't enough already. He had never called the mayor, and that mayor said he didn't want Christie to come and to apologize to anyone else that he could. Now, we heard from the mayor just a few minutes ago.
We explained to the governor that we were appreciative of his appearance here, and we're appreciative of the fact that he's taken, we believe, a big step in regaining the trust of our community and, quite frankly, this region. Because I told you, this is not just a Fort Lee issue. This is a regional issue. So that's really it. I think, though, the most important aspect of all of this is that it is an ongoing investigation. There is a lot more information that I think needs to be reviewed. I think that the committee is going through all of that, and all the other investigative agencies are dealing with this issue. And I think we both agree, or at least I definitely agree, I'm pretty sure the governor shares these thoughts, that, you know, to a certain extent we have to wait and see what else transpires. But from the governor's office and its relationship with the borough of Fort Lee, we believe that today's meeting went in a very productive course of action, and we're content at the moment. And the investigation will tell us the balance of what needs to be told. I accepted his apology. Yes, I did. You know, we did. The governor of the state came here. You know, and I just wanted to also clarify something. You know, when I was also speaking to you folks while the governor was conducting his press conference, I had indicated that, you know, maybe it wouldn't be productive to come up now, and I explained to the governor that wasn't to be disrespectful. It was just to, would it make more sense to do this once the investigation was concluded? The governor respectfully insisted, and we certainly would welcome any governor, and especially our governor of the state of New Jersey, with open arms, as we did.
Are you glad he came?
I'm glad he came.
Are you convinced that he didn't know?
Glad he came. I take him for his word, which is he had nothing to do with it. And I said this once, I said this 100 times. We in Fort Lee are not rooting for facts to, you know, come about and surface that would suggest in some shape or form that he was involved in. We take him for his word.
He knows who you are now.
Thank you very much.
Do you think you have a close relationship with him?
Yeah, you know, close might be a stretch. I will tell you at the end, I did say, Governor, am I on your radar? I think his answer was something to the effect that we now have our own screen, which I thought was pretty funny.
Mayor, was traffic shut down on a lane here? Is there an irony here that traffic was shut down so the mayor could, so the governor could visit?
I leave that to you guys to make that decision. That was a safety move planned, and actually we had conducted a couple studies before you arrived. All right, guys. Thank you very much for your patience. Good night, all.
But just to give you the layers of this, that same mayor just last night was in full panic mode that when the cameras stopped running on this issue, that this same governor was going to exact political payback. This was the same mayor who sent repeated emails over the days with the lane closures begging for help here because of basically turning a city into a traffic jam. And all that it elicited on the other side was laughs from some of those aforementioned folks who have now been shown the door by the governor. So this thing far, far from over. And let's go now to Fios 1 News reporter Samantha Liebman, who was in Fort Lee tonight, and she joins us live with much more, not only from the mayor, but even from the governor.
Yeah, the governor didn't have much to say when he left, but we'll take a listen to him in a second. But it's interesting that the mayor, as you said, did not want the governor to come, but, you know, he was glad that he did. But he also cautioned that this isn't over and he wants to see the outcome of the investigation. Now, you know, he also agreed that it was cordial. And now, you know, Christy had said that Mayor Sokolich wasn't even on his radar, but Mayor Sokolich asked him about that, and he said that the governor said that now it's not only on the radar, they have their own screen. So he's very aware of the mayor, and the mayor definitely thought that he was sincere. Here's what the governor had to say about their meeting.
Very good, very warm, very productive.
Now, residents here in Fort Lee, not a large crowd gathered to see the governor. There was some clapping, surprisingly, because we spoke to a lot of residents that were angry, but There were also mixed feelings. Some felt that the governor didn't do enough and didn't do it soon enough, and some people accepted his apology. Take a listen.
I think that he is apologizing because he got caught. I don't think that it's sincere. He's been mocking the whole situation in Fort Lee from the beginning. He's never called for an investigation until this morning.
I don't think he realized until the records confiscated the emails how prevalent it was. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt.
So again, the mayor hoping to see some results of an investigation, but still accepting the apology. And the people of Fort Lee a little mixed on whether they're accepting the governor's apology, but most are giving him the benefit of a doubt. For now, that's the latest here in Fort Lee. Back to you, Rich.
All right. Thank you very much, Samantha. But make no mistake about it, Fort Lee, whether it be the mayor or even the residents, will not be the end of the problems, even if the governor won over some folks here when it comes to Trenton. The governor, while he was talking this morning and doing his press conference, an assembly committee was holding hearings into the bridge mess. And before it was done, a Christie appointee, the star witness, if you will, one who had already resigned from the Port Authority, was being charged with contempt. For more on that part of the story, let's bring in Files 1 News reporter Christy Duffy. She is live tonight in Trenton.
Good evening, Rich. That's right. And that key figure that you're talking about is David Wildstein. And yes, he did resign last month from the Port Authority. He was a director there in the midst of all this. Now, Mr. Wildstein said very little in response to the committee's repeated questions. He pled the fifth, only speaking when he stood to take an oath that he would tell the truth.
I would advise Mr. Wildstein, with respect to this document, to assert his rights of silence.
Could your client tell me what Serbia means?
Same response, sir.
Over and over again, Alan Zagas, attorney for David Wildstein, explained his client was observing his Fifth Amendment right to remain silent. State Assembly Transportation Committee Chairman John Wisniewski says Wildstein may be in contempt of that committee's subpoena.
There have been other people who have tried to quash subpoenas, and they got the same result. A waste of effort, a waste of time, but certainly a delaying tactic.
David Wildstein's text messages and emails with top Christie staffers appear throughout the 900 pages of documents he was subpoenaed to turn over to the committee, including a statement where he says those stuck in traffic on the George Washington Bridge are, quote, children of Buono voters, referring to the Democratic candidate who ran against Governor Christie last year. State Senator Loretta Weinberg represents Bergen County and Fort Lee, the political target of the lane closings.
I represent these citizens. Chris Christie represents these citizens. They put citizens in jeopardy, and people knew this 2 months ago and 3 months ago.
What's next in all of this? Well, the Assembly Committee says they plan to subpoena Bridget Kelly, as you said, Rich, Governor Christie's former deputy chief of staff who was fired earlier today. They also plan to subpoena more documents and other individuals until they get to the bottom of what happened. In Trenton, Christy Duffy. Rich.
Thank you very much, Christy. Okay, so that's what happened today. A lot to digest, certainly. The question is, where do we go from here, not just from a scandal standpoint? We'll talk about the politics of it, but we'll also talk about the investigation. When we come back on the other side of the break, I'll be talking with the leading assemblyman who's leading the investigation in Trenton on this, who runs the committee trying to get to the bottom of who knew what and when. We'll be joined by him right after this.